Well, howdy, Gadget fans. We just wanted to give you a little bit of a note before we started the show. You see, we're calling this episode the Resurrection episode because it's the only piece of footage that we were able to recover from those hard drives that exploded. Well, we were going to reshoot it, but we took a look and we realized, you know what, we did it right the first time. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the last episode from Interop 2008. The king of digital field recording, the Samson H4, gets a little brother. We've got the Zoom H2 coming up on this episode of Gadget. We'd like to thank our production sponsors, Interop, the California province of the Society of Jesus, and Gateway. Hello, and welcome back to Gadget at thetechstop.net. It's a place where it's always time to get your geek on. I'm your host, Father Robert Ballecer of the Society of Jesus. I'm a member of the California province of the Jesuits. We're the largest religious order in the Catholic Church, and we're here in the NOC, the Network Operations Center at Interop Las Vegas 2008 at the Mandalay Bay Convention Center. This is actually the last night of Interop. It's about midnight, and I wanted to film an episode featuring a regular consumer-level product because I know the last few have been sort of high-end, highbrow, networking professional, IT uber geek, and, well, I wanted to give something for the rest of us. Now, we've got a little product here from our friends over at Samson. Now, you may remember that about a year ago, after CES 2007, we reviewed the Zoom H2. That was a portable field recording unit that, well, we just found fantastic. It had the stereo mics at a 90-degree angle to one another so that you can get that true stereo sound. It had the XLR inputs. It had a very long battery life. It had the ability to record an MP3 or any different wave format that you might want. And for us, it was just a fantastically solid, useful unit that we could take anywhere that we needed to go with good, fantastic sound. Well, they've upgraded their line this year at CES 2008 with the Zoom H2. Now, you might notice that it's a lot smaller than the H4. In fact, this fits pretty well into the palm of my hand. But the configuration of the menu system is pretty much the same, and you have more or less the same switches and buttons and options that you would on the H4. The big difference has to be the size and the fact that instead of the stereo mics and the XLR connectors, they've now included 4 mics in a stereo surround sound configuration on the top of the H2. The only real question is, how does this stack up against the H4? You might be tempted to think of the Zoom H2 handy recorder as the little brother of the H4, but the truth is that it is every bit the field recorder of the H4, and then some. The H2 is small, at only 4 inches by 2.5 inches by 1.25 inches. This thing fits comfortably in the palm of your hand or in your shirt pocket. Out of the box, the Zoom H2 comes with everything you need to be up and recording in just a few minutes. Samson includes an oversized windsock, a 512MB SD memory card, headphones, a tri-stand, a microphone handle, and all the cords and cables to hook it up. The H2 uses a standard mounting point at the bottom of the unit that is compatible with most camera tripods. Samson has also included a tri-stand that screws onto the H2 and makes it perfect for operation on the desktop. For those who want to use the H2 as a field mic, Samson has also included a microphone mount that turns the H2 into a high-quality field mic with a built-in digital recorder. Design-wise, the H2 is much like the H4. The right side of the H2 has an external mic port, the mic gain switch, the line-in port, and a micro USB 2.0 connector. The left side of the H2 has the power jack, the power switch, volume control, and headphone or line-out port. The front panel of the H2 is relatively uncluttered and intuitively laid out. There are dedicated switches for the microphone modes and a full directional keypad for navigating the menus, as well as a dedicated record button. Turning the unit to its top, you will find the distinctive features of the H2, the 360-degree microphone coverage. Underneath the metal grille are 4 condenser microphones that give you stereo recording, both in the front and the rear of the H2. The back of the H2 has the battery compartment that contains 2 AA batteries. Samson says that the H2 can run for 4 hours on a single set of batteries, but I found that number to be very dependent on the number of mics that are active and the format that is being recorded. Over the course of 3 weeks, I saw a low number of 1.5 hours and a high watermark of 6. The bottom of the H2 has the SD card slot. The H2 will work with SDHC cards up to 16 gigabytes, but because it uses a FAT32 file system, it will only support files up to 2 gigabytes in size. At the highest bitrate uncompressed WAV file, this turns out to be just over 3 hours, while at the highest bitrate MP3, this grows to almost a full day of uninterrupted recording. Using the H2 is as simple as using the H4. Turn it on and within 8 or so seconds you'll be ready to record. Once powered up, you can use the microphone select keys to scroll between various options for mic activation. You can choose rear only, front only, or the full 360-degree 4-channel coverage. As you scroll through the options, small red lights on the front and back light up to indicate which microphones are active. The menu system on the H2 is quite expansive. Perhaps a bit too expansive. The menu lets you control everything from frequency cutoff, recording format, automatic gain control, file parameters, folder, monitor plugin and pre-roll options, auto recording, mono mixing, balance, metronome, tuner contrast, and a dozen other settings. It's nice to have the ability to do all that, but it can be a bit daunting for the novice who is scrolling through for the first time. A good thing it's also dead simple to record. Press the record button once, and you'll be put into standby mode. The volume meter will activate and you'll be able to fine-tune your levels. Samson has thoughtfully given us a 3-position gain switch for down and dirty preset levels, or you can use the keypad to set your recording levels manually. Press the record button again and you're recording. Press it once more and the H2 will close the file and drop you back into the root menu. One of the cooler features of the H2 and the H4 is the ability to use the field recorder as a high-quality USB microphone. Simply plug it into your USB port and use the software of your choice. Samson doesn't include editing software, but I found Audacity, a free software package, to work just fine. One caveat: most free software packages do not support 4-track USB audio. The Samson Zoom H2 is available online now for about $200. So a few final thoughts about the Zoom H2. I like this unit. I mean, it definitely has its purposes. It's small, it's compact, it's durable. We've actually dropped it a couple of times and it still keeps ticking. It's digital, the quality is awesome, and it does have all those functions and features and configuration options that will help you to use it in whatever situation or circumstance you may find yourself. That being said, for what we do, our portable field recording, the Zoom H4 actually does make more sense, just because it has the XLR connectors and we use those all the time. However, if all you want to do is record an occasional speech or presentation or bring it to a concert, or if you want to do some voiceover work and you don't really care about having XLR connectors so that you can get to custom microphones, the Zoom H2 might be something that you might be interested in. Not only that, but when you look at the price breakdown, $300 for the H4 versus under $200 for the H2, for those on a budget, this makes a fantastic field recorder, something that you could use to, say, do voiceover work for your YouTube videos or to add annotations to your papers. If you're looking for a competent field recorder, if you need something that has no compromise audio, that has options up the wazoo, and can possibly complement all the video and audio gear that you have in your gig bag, you may want to check out the Zoom H2. Well, that's all the time we have for this episode of Gadget. If you'd like to find out more about the Zoom H2, to read our full review, or perhaps check out the links where you could buy this, you can always go to our website at www.thetechstop.net. Click on the Gadget tab, and you'll be able to find those reviews, and as well as links to all of the high-resolution versions of our episodes. If you want to send us an email, you can always reach us at gadget@thetechstop.net. Well, I've been your host, Father Robert Ballecer. This has been The Knock at Interop Las Vegas 2008. And remember, there's no Uber Geek without you.